Good morning and welcome to Madworks Garage. In this episode we're going to be fixing some of the front of the ice cream van, or maybe all of it, depending how fast he moves. Anyone who don't know him, this is Lester. Good morning everybody. And he has the most amazing hair colour. His girlfriend keeps strapping him down and doing that to him.
She's not my girlfriend.
Oh, alright, if you say so. Anyway, what we're going to be doing today, we've got some repair panels here. These were cut from another van, from out that I've got out the back there. The van was completely shot, but it had very good front flitches. These. It's also got the heater box and everything else, where this one inside here is completely rotten and gone. So the object of the exercise is to cut the rot out of there and then put this panel in and weld it all in place on that side. Easier said than done, he says.
That's another part, which is that bit which I was hiding on, and as we can see, what we're going to do is utilise that.
Yeah.
To make good that section there.
Correct. And on this side, again, same thing. There's some repairs to do on these, but it's very small compared to the amount of rot that's in there. And also with the near side windscreen pillar, completely rotted up here. I don't know what's behind here, we'll find out, but completely rotted behind here, where this is very solid. It just needs these holes welding up, tidying up.
Yeah, most of these perforations are due to the fact that we've had them blasted.
Yeah,
that's right. Soon covered in the dust.
So the idea is to get that in there, all that in there, and we'll be selling ice cream by next week. Not. Anyway, we'll get all the tools out, we'll see how we get on, and we'll be back in a little while. So, Lester's now removed that side of the van, as you can see, that part, and it's nice and solid to where he's got to, as you can see. My favourite saying, as you can see. Can you see? As you can see. And I'm hacking away at this pillar at the moment. I wouldn't like to say I'm cutting it with precision, because I'm not. Basically, just trying to cut it back so we can find out exactly where we've got to go to with the repair piece. This is aluminium, this strip here, down here. So I need to get that off to save it, obviously to put it back. The other good thing, it is a very good guide to know if everything's going back in the same position. We're going to try and keep the hinge in situ because for obvious reasons, because the door fits on there. And the door gap is absolutely perfect, would you believe, right now, or was before we took it to bits. So hopefully it's going to stay that way. This wiring loom runs up the pillar, and then, believe it or not, this is actually interior lights, this white one, and the other four are the rear lights on the van. Unusual, because generally the rear loom on a Bedford CA will go underneath along the chassis to the back. But obviously with this conversion, they've done it the other way. It goes up over the top. There's some little interior lights still in position there, look. As you, I'm going to say it again. As you can see, I'm going to try and keep those, because obviously they're original. Try and keep them as much as possible. So we'll go back to hyperlapse for a while, speed things up a bit for you guys, and just keep going. Hopefully it won't fall in half and fall on the floor. What do you reckon, Lester?
Don't know about that. But I'm quite happy with what we've got here. It's far better than I imagined. People might look at it and think, wow, if that's good, I'd like to see something that's bad. But believe me, they can get worse than this.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
This is a pretty straightforward repair to do.
There you are.
He's done it before.
I'm going to remember he said that.
Just watch this space.
Yeah, watch this space. Right, so here we are again. Leicester has been sorting this out. As you can see, it looks 100% better already. It's only cobbled in there at the minute, but we're trying to set the front of the van up because everything's got to be straight before we can weld anything in. There's repairs to do as well, so the panel has to come back out. At the moment, we're working on this, which is the replacement window pillar for the near side, and we're just getting this to fit before we go too far.
As you can see, originally the van came as a chassis cab, or cab and cowl in actual fact. In other words, there was no windscreen, it was a chassis and from bulkhead. So the original vehicle has got this here and that section there, but they never fitted a roof on it at the factory because there was no need to. So I've had to take that off there, and basically behind the fiberglass here, that is the structure that's in. We've got to put that in there. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm cutting this section of the fiberglass out because I obviously can't get that in, and that will have to be rebonded back on again after it's all been welded in. But that's the state of play at the moment.
Yeah, we've also cut massive sections of the van away because obviously there was so much rot in it. We don't want to be putting new metal to rotten metal. So every piece of rot has just about been cut out. That's the surface rust, what's on here. And then we'll replace what we've cut out with new metal and build it back up. But until we get this window pillar in and the door pillar back in, what we need to do is hang the door and make sure the door fits the aperture properly, and once we've done that, then we can move on and sort the front of the van out. But what we have done is, I don't know whether you can see this, see through this window, yeah, we've bolted on the side panel, which bolts to the floor and bolts to the front flitch and the top of the dashboard. So common sense says if that's all bolted into place with the engine cover on, then where this sits pretty much should be within a few mil in the right place. But that's that side. This side's going to be a bit more difficult, but what we will do is put the front panel on, the inner front panel on, and then line everything up with nuts and bolts and then tie it all together to make sure it's all right before we go welding anything onto the van itself. So all coming along really well, and I'm really pleased. I really am. Yeah. So we'll see how we get on. There he is, sitting down on the job again.
I know.
He knackers himself out.
I'd be wore out.
Are we allowed to say knackers? I suppose we are.
Hello, Joe. You'll see this later on.
Who's Joe? Oh, your girlfriend. Of course, yeah. Sorry. Sorry, Joe. Yeah, sorry, Joe. Yeah, right, okay. This is how far we've got so far. As you can see, it's looking a little bit more like a Bedford, but it's all bits and pieces. But what we're doing, you know, as I explained earlier on, is to try and marry up everything before we do anything like welding, stuff like that. So there has been a bit of welding today, though, here. Because Lester's welded those two panels together to give us a big enough repair panel to do it properly, do a decent job of it, really. So anyway, but this is really good around here as well, because I did it.
With my help, of course.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, so this section here was on a van I repaired earlier. I fixed this, made these boxes, gosh, it's got to be 2 years ago. And they've been sat outside ever since because the van that I was doing got written off in the end because one thing after another, the gutters were just so very bad that it just wasn't practical to do it. So anyway, long story short, I cut it out, we're using it on here. So what we've done, this is obviously off the van, the green van that I was telling you about earlier on. And this has come off a cream van that was out the back. So what we've done is we've put this in. I mean, obviously nothing's actually connected up or anything else, but what we're trying to do is basically make it work. And it will work, because by the time all this is fitted and welded together, it should all come together nicely. So I'm really pleased with how far we've got.
Just imagine how many ice creams we can do.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah. So it's coming together. It really is coming together. Quite happy with it. Quite happy with it. So we've got a few more hours of today left, so we'll crack on and see how far we get. Right, as you can see, we've done pretty well today, haven't we, Lester?
Yep.
Nothing is welded as such. We've done a bit of welding on the top here to put this corner in, but a lot of other stuff needs to be fitted and then taken off again and then welded up. You know, cleaned up and welded up. But look what we've got. We've now got
An ice cream van with a windscreen that fits in the aperture.
exactly the windscreen sat in there, and everything is lined up pretty much perfect.
That pillar on that side is now secured.
Doors on.
The doors on.
Well, it's not fixed, but it's in the aperture.
It's in the aperture and it fits, which is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Really speaking, next video is going to be tying all this up, getting the front on and making sure that we've got the front in the right position, because this will affect that as well.
That's correct, yeah. So if you tune in next time, in the next episode, we'll be cracking along, lining it all up, as Lester said, and hopefully doing a bit of welding so we don't have to take it apart again. So thanks very much for watching Mad Works Garage again with me and Lester.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next episode. Oh, if you haven't already, subscribe please and press the little bell for notifications, and you'll be sorted. You won't miss a thing. So.
You hear that, Joe? Subscribe.
Yeah. Cheerio for now.
See you both then.